or whatever.
Multiple in town. If not, I just start getting scanned. JD might be better.
But that way, once the next one in, then the next order of business would be the electoral vote. And then the vice president. And the treasurer secretary.
President.
Open so.
Just gotta get with everybody.
Yeah.
But we haven't got the list out yet, so.
Bridgeport is not, they said they're gonna do it, Decatur said the same thing. Wise County, this is what we don't by now, Kevin would have all this other things, he small press calls, he says they're not gonna get the commission for maybe early January. He doesn't know. Hey, some people out.
I really thought he would have had that, so they finished.
And then what's wise is doing this, they're gonna put pretty much on the one flip out, so they're really sending out the latest
Year wasn't.
round. And we're gonna see what the case is, what's wise. So that's it. Hey, there he is.
How are y'all?
Good, how are you? We're yours, Bernie, we were just talking about you. You got his work done.
Yeah, look at his thing straight from work.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in case I fell down, I wouldn't get dirty.
You rubbed it in the dirt
Just to make it
with your
look
boot.
like-
Air protection, he's ready to go. Thanks for being here.
Hey, any progress on figuring out who you guys are gonna put on board to represent the county?
Well, we're not even gonna close applications till the 5th.
Have you had pitching people?
Of course.
Okay.
Leaving it
Any
open.
engineers or?
I'm hoping, yeah, Andy. Bonding experience is good.
That would be good too.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
So is William doing it for you? I heard he wasn't, and then I heard he was.
Jenny Moore, I think.
Janie?
Jenny Moore?
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny Moore. And then, Aurora appointed. And we look for places in the county side of our system.
Justin? How are you?
Well, I think he's gonna have some. I signed it. If you sign it,
Did you want to talk during the agenda item? Did you write in the agenda item
Yes.
on there?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
How are you?
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Where's that?
It's right here. Sorry.
the meeting of Walnut Creek Special Utility District to order at 4:01 p.m. Let the record show 4 board members present. Time of this meeting is duly called. Notices of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Lead us in invitation.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Just thank you for letting us all come together, Lord, and let us all try to get along and all try to get to whether we can help the customers, Lord, and let us all just get along. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on the open forum, we have 3 individuals that have signed up to speak. 2 have identified agenda items for which they want to speak on, and the third has, Jane, do you want to speak in the open session and on the reports?
Yes, sir.
You may speak.
Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. This will be brief. Jane Galvin, 128 Clayton Crossing, Springtown, Texas. And I have something to hand out to the board members. Can I just put it in its place or?
Yep.
I will give you mine. So I want to commend Walnut Creek for improving the board meeting guidelines on your webpage to include that speakers are allowed 5 minutes and number 2, as well as 3 minutes to speak on agenda items. However, number 4, demeaning any individual or group, including insulting the honesty, etc. One of the things that y'all need to also add is per Government Code 551.007 is the fact that the public, a governmental body may not prohibit public criticism of the governmental body, including criticism of any act, omission, policy, procedure, program, or service. This subsection does not apply to public criticism that is otherwise prohibited by law. This has been upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States. Rules must be viewpoint neutral, but as the U.S. Supreme Court has said, giving offense is a viewpoint. So it would be very much appreciated if you would include that subsection into the board information, because it goes both ways. So I commend you for changing that, but I'd also request that you update it to include the entire subsection. Mr. Tahir, thank you very much. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on, the consent agenda, approval of the minutes, approval of the monthly investment reports, approval of the income expense reports, and approval of the billing reports. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
A motion for last month's for November.
Do we have a second?
I'll say it.
All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to the general session, item A, consideration and/or action to move forward with joining the WFPUA. We have two individuals who have signed up to speak during this time on the agenda, three, I'm sorry. So, you want to draw straws, or how would you like to do this?
No, go ahead. I'll speak last. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board, President. Thank you for having us in today. My name is Rodney Holmes. I'm the mayor for the city of Boyd. I'm also a member of the Wise County Mayors Coalition. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of history of where the PUA came from and things like that. About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, the Wise County Mayors came together and decided to try to solve some of the problems that we were having in our individual cities through a regional effort. We have some interlocal agreements that we put in place. City of Boyd provides police services to New Fairview. New Fairview supplies court services to us. Rome supplies police services to Aurora as such. Right after that, County Judge J.D. Clark had a water symposium at the Decatur Conference Center and invited all the entities to discuss our water issues in Wise County. They had had a study done by Friesen Nichols through the Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District that showed in a nutshell that Wise County is number 3 in the state of Texas out of 254 counties for new wells being dug over the last 4 or 5 years. We can't continue that. If that continues, by the year 2040 or so, wells are gonna start going dry. And we at the Mayor's Coalition realized that the wells that were gonna start going dry the first were the ones that have been here the longest. And those are the people that we needed to protect in the unincorporated county, even though they weren't inside the cities. So we came together, got with Wise County, got with Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District, tried to form the Wise Regional Water District through the legislature. There was almost 9,000 bills filed in the legislature, not very many passed, like less than 2,000. Ours was one that got caught up in calendars and did not get passed. But our second option was to form a public utility agency. There's only one that we know of existing in the state of Texas right now that's filed legally, and that's in the western Travis County. What happened there is they had a water provider that basically went bankrupt. So all of the cities in the county and everybody got together, got bonds, bought all the infrastructure and everything. Our PUA is a little different because we're starting from scratch. But what we have done is we have had 15 entities that were interested, 14 entities that passed it, y'all being the ones that you had some questions about it. We passed a like ordinance to get passed, and we don't have to have legislative approval or anything. Basically what this does is it allows us, it's basically a water district. We are modeled after the Upper Trinity Regional Water District in Benton County, who has been in existence since 1989 and has done a phenomenal job on providing water, surface water to Benton County and the surrounding areas. Basically, what we're looking to do is the same thing. You know, we met with Tarrant Regional Water District, their board, and they basically told us that they weren't gonna deal with any one entity, that they wanted to deal with only a regional entity. Well, that is the Public Utility Agency. And they came back and said, yes, we will work on a contract with you guys. Here's what we're looking for. We gave them the numbers. I think your general manager and y'all included your numbers in that also. So basically what I'm here for today is to answer any questions and give you my personal reasoning of why it would be beneficial to your customers to join the PUA. Because this PUA is basically gonna be another supply of water for you guys from Tarrant Regional Water District. They have basically said that they have no water to supply anybody out of Lake Bridgeport, that it would have to come out of Eagle Mountain, but it's basically not coming out of Eagle Mountain. It will be coming out of Richland Chambers and Cedar Creek Lake in East Texas. They will pump that water up to Lake Brentbrook through their new 96-inch pipeline, and then they will pump it into Eagle Mountain. So that is one of the options that we're looking at with them. We also are looking at hopefully Upper Trinity Regional Water District. Maybe we can get some water out of the new Lake Ralph Hall. That would be another option. The answer to our problems, and y'all know that, is it's not one entity supply. It's gonna be a supply of everything, whether that's rainwater capture, surface water. But we've gotta bring more surface water into Wise County to protect our wells now that we have. If something happens and this doesn't happen, the PUA doesn't happen, because the first board meeting is gonna be in January, which it's going to, but you guys have a huge CCN in Wise County. And as people's wells start going dry, they have to have an option to be able to get surface water. And because you guys have the CCN, you would be able to supply that. This PUA would give you another option to provide more water to them. I know there has been some talk and some questions about wastewater being included in the order or ordinance. That's in there because that is in chapter 572 of the local government code, which says water and wastewater can be provided by a public utility agency. And that's the only reason it's in the ordinance. Wastewater is not on the plan in the immediate, near future, or anything for the PUA to provide. The mayor's coalition, which is separate from the PUA, if the cities want to get together and do a regional study and maybe provide a regional solution to wastewater for like the cities of Paradise and stuff that don't have it, Aurora, that would be done strictly through the cities, and it would be limited to the cities only. Would not be limited to would not be provided to the unincorporated county. I mean, we're like you, we don't want the MUDs and developments out of the unincorporated county. We would rather keep those in the city. That's our plan on that. So with that, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Tell me again where the water's coming from.
The water would come from Richland Chambers and Cedar Creek Lake in East Texas, and would be pumped up to Lake Benbrook through the new pipeline, and then from Benbrook into Eagle Mountain. That's what the general manager, the head of the board of directors for Tarrant Regional Water District explained to us.
And those lines are in place, or are they to be built in?
No, the lines are in place. They're already able to pump water from those two lakes in East Texas up to Eagle Mountain.
Are they doing it?
At 90% capacity right now. Meaning there would have to be another reservoir to be built. I actually went to Austin and spoke with DECQ, and I also spoke with Tarrant Regional Water District.
Do you have that in writing? Because
I got
we
it.
all spoke with them as a group, and they said they had it. I had plenty of water for us, so.
I have the phone calls and recording. They say otherwise. From those two agencies, they said that what you were saying, that they wouldn't do business with any other one district. They actually said that if we went incorporated in an agreement with Springtown, and we can expand their water district.
That's a regional effort, so they will deal with a regional effort.
Right, and they said that would be a much quicker process, and we would get our water. It's also seen as that they're only using 60% of their capacity.
But I have spoke with Springtown City Administrator and been told that they're not interested.
I spoke with the mayor, he says otherwise.
Well, again, it'd be like Parker County. Parker County's just now having their water situation. They tried to join our water district, but their cities don't get along over there. It was two of their commissioners and Phil King that tried to join our Wise Regional Water District at the legislature. And we decided to try to keep it only in Wise County. Told them if we had extra water, we would sell them, but we didn't want it to get too big too quick. So we didn't allow them to join. So they're 3 years behind us. So any new regional entity that starts will be 3 years behind trying to get water signed up for them.
Right, and then even the leadership that's also with Wise PUA, they said that the funding will come until 2029, a fall.
No,
That's what they spoke to on the meeting, the guy that was even going to.
that's not correct. You know that Proposition 4 passed, and there's money in,
But they,
and the Texas Water Development Board. And as you have a regional entity, that moves you to the top of the list for grants and funding through 0% interest or low interest loans. That's how it works.
I'm just telling you what they said at the meeting.
That's your opinion of what they said. Understood.
Not an opinion, it's recorded.
Yeah, and we are actually applying already for funding on that. And again,
I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, I'm just saying what they said.
okay. That's fine. On the funding that all of the entities that join the PUA will put up front will be like a zero interest loan. That money will be paid back either through projects if you decide to join a project, or as the PUA gets up and running and starts selling water, then that money will be paid back. And it's, again, it's non-taxing entity, so the funding will be strictly through the sale of water. And I mean, we have 100% backing of Senator Tim Parker, Representative Andy Hopper, Congressman Brandon Gill, Wise County Judge J.D. Clark, our Commissioners Court, one of our commissioners is here. We have the full backing of everybody in this project.
Summarize for me the benefits to the customers.
The benefits for the customers is you'll have availability of more water to sell. We're not, the PUA, you know, I saw something earlier that said that the PUA is looking for the water that you guys get out of Bridgeport. Now that's your water. That's Walnut Creek's SUG water. The PUA wouldn't take that water. The PUA would get water that they buy from somebody else, sell it wholesale. The PUA is not gonna be a retailer. So the benefits to your customers would be, and to add customers, is that as you add customers, you'd have more water to sell. And in joining the PUA, you would get the discounted price at wholesale. Like I said, the PUA is not gonna be a retail organization, so the PUA is not gonna take anybody's CCN, not gonna do anything like that. All the PUA is gonna do is sell water at a wholesale rate, and if you're an initial member of that PUA, you will get a discounted price on that water, and you will be able to join in on any projects that you wanted to do that would benefit your customers, whether that's upsizing lines, putting in new lines, or anything like that. That's gonna benefit the group as a whole.
The pipeline you're talking about is gonna go from, Eagle Mountain to Bridgeport?
No, they have no plans right now to do a pipeline from Eagle Mountain to Bridgeport.
So where's the water gonna come to us from?
From Eagle Mountain. We're looking at putting at the deepest part of the north end of the lake, and I know it's at the north end of the lake, but Tarrant Regional Water District has assured us.
What's the deepest point? That's like 6 feet.
No, it's 14 feet. 14 feet is the minimum they said that we could have our intake at. But they did approve that. It would be at the very south end of Kenneth Copeland's property, and it would be in Tarrant County is what we're looking at. But again, the PUA board hasn't even been sworn in yet. They get sworn in January the 28th. You guys have all got an invite to that. You're welcome to join us. We hope you can be there. And then it'll go from there. They'll elect president, vice president, and they will run from there. Our initial members of the PUA board are gonna be people who have been invested in this from the beginning. And they'll either be operators, finance people, bond people, water attorneys, engineers, people that know what we're looking for and know what they're doing. It can be a part of the team to get this thing up and running. But what we're looking at, especially on January the 28th, is like the Upper Trinity Regional Water District, we're gonna look back in 25, 30 years and go, wow, that was a huge deal. Because this is a big deal for Wise County. Because if we don't do something, we're gonna be in major trouble. And y'all know, state's in major trouble on water. I mean, there's cities in the state that are trucking water in now because their wells have gone dry. And everything from here west is brackish, if you can even find water in the ground.
Any other questions for Rob?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Kevin Byrne?
Rodney has covered this thoroughly, I think. I'm just here to answer questions if you have any that haven't already been answered. I think it'll be a mutual benefit to certainly be another source.
Explain to me what your role is in this.
I'm just, we're a facilitator. We're actually gonna be members.
Who's we?
We, the county, Wise County, commissioner, been working on this 23 years. to try to get surface water into Wise County other than your own and West Wise.
Yeah.
Because 85% of our people are on groundwater. It's, they told us years ago that back during the Barnett Shale play that we're running out, we're back up to that use again, that level of use again. So we're gonna be hurting before long. The Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District says that we'll be in quite a bit of trouble in 20 years if we don't do something. We'll start feeling it in 10. There are already a few wells going dry. Some of the, not really going dry, but the neighbors next to them are pumping into the Kona Depression and they're having to re-drill wells, so it's an issue. So we're just looking at any solution. And, the best solution for folks in the southern end of the county that aren't served by y'all is surface water from Eagle Mountain. On the far east side of the county, Upper Trinity hasn't guaranteed us water, but they have said that if it doesn't get allocated into the Irving, Dallas area, there's a 55 million gallon a day pipeline coming into Denton County from North White Falls, so we could purchase it at a later date, but it'll be treated water.
Like where?
No, Lake Ralph Hall in Fannin County.
Ralph Hall.
Yes, sir. About the size of Bridgeport, just a little bit smaller, and they haven't started impounding water yet, but they'll be doing so pretty soon.
Is that east of Paris?
South and east of Paris. Yes, sir.
Where is, Trinity,
Ladonia is the closest town, excuse me.
where is, Tarrant Regional Water District gonna get the additional water for the,
They're telling us they have sufficient supply for us for a number of
Because-
years.
when I spoke to them, they said that it would be a temporary solution. You'll get a water treatment plant on the lake, but they would have to build another reservoir.
That's not what I'm understanding, is what
They said it would be,
executive director is telling me is, and the gentleman that does their reservoirs, that they'll be able to take care of us for a couple of decades at our current growth rate.
they said 5 years.
Who is
I have
that?
the recording.
Who is it? Because that's not what the director of the
I'll
board of
provide that
directors told
recording.
us.
Okay, I'll provide that recording, but that's what they were stating, and I'm just trying to figure out where is this other impound gonna be?
Do you have it now, or we can?
That's right.
What did that segment to Austin? Do you remember?
No, I do not.
I'm not right to answer what did to Austin.
Can I add one thing while he's looking for that?
Yes,
On the ordinance or the order, what would happen if y'all decided to join is the ordinance would have to be updated by the attorneys, and all entities would have to pass the new ordinance that would include you guys. You guys would have to pass the new ordinance and the ordinance update, but you can do that at the same
Say
meeting.
again?
Is that correct?
So that do the public comment again, correct, for the new ordinance?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
we would have to have a public hearing again, yes.
Right, so it'd be another 90 days, so.
30 days.
30 days.
I will go over it with the attorneys before this meeting.
So really, I don't really understand that conflict, because both the executive director and the operations manager have already told us that they have sufficient.
executive
water for us.
director and operations manager for
Tarrant Regional Water District.
Tarrant Regional Water District.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got names on
They
that.
told us to proceed.
We have names on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Dan Berman.
That's Dan Hughes and
You know who you spoke to?
I'm looking it up right now, sir.
Yeah, Dan Boomman is the general manager for Kent Regional Water District, and he has told us that multiple times.
had lunch with him Friday.
Is there anybody above him at the Tarrant Regional Water?
Other than the board. This is Doug Shaw with the Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District, if you have any questions for him.
I'm happy to answer any
Okay,
questions.
thank you, Ken.
Sir, thank you guys for your time and appreciate your work.
Nicole. From Tarrant Regional Water District. Does that ring any bells? So what is this information hold?
Nicole, she is director of some such thing, water resources, something like that.
Okay, so she isn't like a low-level employee that would just be giving me a BS answer.
No, she's up there.
Okay, so that's the information I was receiving from Nicole.
And tell me again what the information was.
That we have about 5 years of water supply with the current impoundment. When we put another water treatment plant on the lake with the PUA, they said that they would do that for you guys, put it on there. They also would expand, also too, if we decide to go with the city of Springtown, they also would expand that one too. So the two viable routes. But they did say that going with the PUA, that they would have enough water to buffer for about 5 years, but they would have to upgrade and have another impound lake to supply Eagle Mountain. That's what she stated.
They asked.
They asked for a 50-year water demand, and we gave them those numbers, and they said that they could meet that demand. And that came straight from the general manager or the director of operations.
Right, they're at capacity, that's what Nicole said.
All I can say is Dan is her boss.
Okay,
Correct.
Do we have any documentation that she said that?
I have the recording, I can provide that to you. That's what I just played, I'm trying to figure out who I was actually speaking to. I'm not BSing who I'm speaking to and what I'm doing. I actually went to Austin and actually spoke with TECQ on this too.
Okay, Jane, would you like to speak now?
I certainly would, thank you. Again, Jane Galvin. Thank you all gentlemen for coming. However, here's the big issue. I speak for the water customers of Walnut Creek SUD. There are, right now, more water meters in Parker County.
You need to address,
Oh, I'm sorry. There are more water meters in Parker County than in Wise County. Not once did I hear out of the Boyd Mayor's presentation anything about Parker County. It was all about water wells in Wise County running dry. I empathize with that. Our water solely comes from Bridgeport, Lake Bridgeport, of which we are the majority contract, and TRWD is not going to issue any more contracts. West Wise Regional, SUD buys water from Walnut Creek. So, in a nutshell, we're gonna be providing water to everybody in Wise County, as well as the 10,000 new homes being built in Wise County, of which a developer will be sitting on the board of directors.
That's not how it works.
Their water district will have someone representing the 10,000 home master plan community. If it's not one of the developers, it'll be somebody that's tied in, we all know that. TRWD told me 2 years ago when we had this discussion in a board meeting about Eagle Mountain Lake connection. The MLC is an 84-inch pipeline that goes into Eagle Mountain Lake. It doesn't run all year long. No, it doesn't need to, because Bridgeport feeds through down to Eagle Mountain Lake. So we have a conflict based on who's gonna benefit from this. What's it gonna cost Walnut Creek customers, water district customers, for the 5+ years it will take to build a water treatment plant and any other retention ponds that TRWD may require? In the meantime, Walnut Creek is putting up the lion's share of the funding. Right now, based on this ordinance, it's at 23%, which we get nothing out of, except paying for Wise County to have water because their water wells are running dry. There needs to be equity in this, because there's not. And all of I'm not stating something I haven't previously stated to the board before. Craig Ottman with TRWD, who's with Water Resources, he's the one that told me about, you know what, there are other resources that Walnut Creek SUD has the capability of getting through contracts with, like the city of Springtown, because they only use 40% of their contract from Eagle Mountain Lake. 40%. That's not very much. The growth of Parker County, especially northwest Parker County, is significantly higher than Wise County, except for the 10,000 home master plan community that's now being built. One of the issues that I have, there's several with this intent to create in the ordinance. First of all, we've passed the adoption date. I think y'all already covered that. And this was brought up in our public, forum, sorry, my hand is shaking. Section 3 still hasn't been resolved, even though we had a discussion about that at the October 30th meeting. It didn't seem to make much sense in how they were going to resolve the wording regarding any proposed change or amendment regarding the appointment method. Number or term of directors shall require an amendment to this ordinance as described in section 11 below. In section 5, a public entity may appoint an employee of such public entity to serve as director without regard to residency. So you could appoint your grandmother who lives in Illinois. Doesn't matter. There's no wording to clarify that. We brought that up in the public forum. The general powers and authority. Ordinance substantially identical to this ordinance no later than October 31st. So we've come full circle. This is like a cat chasing its tail. And if there are issues still within the document that why it's refused to be looked at, I don't know. But this statement of when the board is elected and they get together, then everything will be cleared up. And excuse me, I'm not offending anyone, but we bought that when the ACA was passed. And we bought it bad, everyone. So I speak for the water customers who are paying, and me personally, a lot of money for our water. None of y'all are water district customers. I am. So, I'm sorry. We have a standing in this, and we need to be heard, and we need to be taken seriously.
Thank you. Our attorney is here.
Yes.
Do you have any comment on the paperwork?
Paperwork,
So the paperwork that we've been asked to sign and.
Did he speak?
Huh?
Did they sign up to speak?
I don't know.
They're an attorney, they don't have to sign up.
Okay, I was making sure.
As far as I look at, this is all very straightforward. There isn't any issue with respect to the dates of the notice, the dates of the hearing. I will tell you that with respect, I've been working with James probably for about a year now, and you know what I'll say.
I'm sorry, what point of order, who is this?
It's our attorney.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know.
Procedurally, everything looks good. I look at this as a tremendous opportunity for Walnut Creek. I've been working with James. Sounds like supplies in Bridgeport are limited, and the only realistic source of supply for a large volume of water is Tarrant Regional Water District. Tarrant Regional Water District, gosh, this is probably earlier this year, signed an agreement to purchase an additional 50,000 acre feet of water from the Trinity River Authority. That water will ultimately end up in Richland Chambers and then can be pumped uphill. So Tarrant Regional Water District is a very sophisticated entity, and they're looking at water supply from a 50-year, on a 50-year time scale. TRWD would not sign a contract for 5 years if they knew they didn't have the water. They just wouldn't.
I'm not saying for 5 years, I'm just saying that that's what they said, that they would need to start upgrading the infrastructure after 4 or 5 years came up to meet the demands of this organization.
I will tell you that
That's what she said.
in working with James, I mean, we've been talking about this, about the necessity for a regional approach. It's absolutely critical because it's going to lower the ultimate cost. For Walnut Creek decided to go out and build a plant at Bridgeport for its own use, it will be the most expensive water that Walnut Creek side ever buys. That's all.
Thank you.
Do you mean building a plant at Eagle Mountain? Because we already have a plant at Bridgeport.
Can you build a plant at Eagle Mountain?
No, you just said build another, you said build a plant
Yeah.
at Bridgeport. We already have a plant at Bridgeport.
The plant needs to be Eagle Mountain.
Right, but you just said we build another plant at Bridgeport. Isn't that Eagle Mountain?
I did.
Okay, I'm making sure you have the correct legs. Thank you.
Any other thoughts, concerns?
Not yet. Don't leave.
Stay right there. Did I expire all 3 minutes? Oh, we weren't.
You know what, I didn't even.
I just have a quick question. So from the time that this is signed to the time that a water treatment plant and whatever other requirements the TRWD requires of the PUA to be able to draw surface water from Eagle Mountain Lake, where's that money gonna come from Walnut Creek? We have bond issue projects that can't be done because we don't have enough money. So I'd like to know where the money's gonna come from.
Can I answer that? That's why we've already gone out to funding to the Texas Water Development Board, and they've already started applying for funding under the PUA.
We still
There's
have to
also
pay
some
for it.
earmarks in Congress that we're looking at, through Brandon Gill's office on funding for Wise County for the PUA.
As
But we're
far
already
as,
putting up 80,000.
as far as the bonds are concerned, Jane, that money is in the bond strictly. We're not saying Walnut Creek doesn't have money. We're saying there's no money in the bonds to finish those projects.
I understand that. We're talking about 2 different things,
But you brought up the bonds.
I did, because if we don't have the money to complete bonds, how are we gonna take on this big project when we're already being asked to put up $83,000?
But like, as you said, those are 2 totally different things. Walnut Creek's finances and Walnut Creek's finances with the bonds are totally separate.
And we're in the hole.
Oh, we are not, I promise you. Just went over it the other day with that lady behind you. We're 16 million to the good at this point.
Not according to the report that you put in the agenda today.
I have a question for the PUA. Why is Walnut Creek putting up 25%?
That would-
25%, it's like 37.
What's the percentage?
It's basically, the way that it was figured was put on the number of existing connections. You can, I know you're not on the deal, but you can explain it better than I can.
No, I can ask you to speak.
Yeah.
You don't.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is John Cabrales. I'm the city administrator for the city of New Fairview. And I've had the pleasure of working with the Wise County Mayor's Coalition on this project. I'm also the guy that's been working behind the scenes with the attorney, so I've got some answers for you there as well. As it relates to the amount that Walnut Creek is putting up on this, basically it's a no-interest loan because you will be getting your money back from the PUA once the PUA becomes solvent in being able to generate revenue. All the entities will. We put a target of $300,000 for everybody joining the PUA that we had to reach. Between the cities and the county, we're coming up with 200,000. So that was 100,000 that was left that had to be split between the 2 special utility districts and the 2 municipal utility districts that joined. I was the one that was on the conference call with the 2 MUDs and the 2 SUDs. And the formula that they agreed that they wanted to do was based on the number of meters on how they were gonna split the 100,000. Walnut Creek by far has more water meters, water customers than West Wise, than Rolling V MUD, or than New Fairview MUD. They're paying their proportionate share, but that's how the 82,000 number came to be of that 100,000 that needed to be made up between the 2 SUDs and the 2 MUDs. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
At what point is what is projected for the PUA to become solvent? At where? And how are the revenues gonna be generated to make it become solvent?
Do you have a pro forma for this?
Yeah.
PUA?
No, sir, we don't have a performer, but we're following the model of Upper Tree Regional Water District. When Upper Tree Regional Water District was formed about 36 years ago, it took them about 7 to 8 years before they started selling water to their first customer and started to generate revenue. Because of all the help that we've gotten from Upper Trinity, and we're not making the missteps that they did, I suspect that, and because of the progress that we've made in our discussions with the Tarrant Regional Water District entity, I suspect that we will probably be able to get this water plant operational with the infrastructure already in place, coming up to the Bobo Crossing area where we're gonna have to provide water to City of Aurora, Boyd, and Rome, which I understand there's intake, I guess, facilities somewhere for along the creek there along Bobo Crossing as well. But then, of course, Newark and Rolling V will get their water a lot quicker because they're way closer to where the drinking plant is. The way this is gonna happen is just like any other water project that a city follows, and that is you apply for a low interest loan from the Texas Water Development Board. They're the ones that ask you for the numbers for the pro forma. Based on who's in the project, that's how they will determine what the rates are going to be and the revenue they're gonna be able to generate and how they're gonna be able to repay that low interest loan. And then at that point, when they finally land the loan and they start the project, they start to sell water. Feasibly, we can get this water plant going probably within 5 years, if not sooner, depending on how the funding comes in from the Texas Water Development Board, which again has already been being applied for even before the board gets sworn in at the end of January. So that's how they will be able to recoup the money. And keep in mind, the money that you're being asked, just like every other entity that's doing the PUA, is being asked to front the PUA until they get operationally solvent and able to start generating money. Is you will get that money back over the next, whatever, 5 or 6 years we end up having to put in to keep them on the ground, keep them moving forward. When they start to generate, then you can turn around and ask them for the money back, and then they'll work out how they'll pay you back the money that you have loaned them. So you're just basically investing in the PUA through this time.
We have a guarantee of our money coming back.
Yes, sir, it's in the interlocal agreement that you'll be asked to approve after you've passed the ordinance to join the PUA.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Where's the tie-in to Walnut Creek that would be tied into this water?
We have a tie-in with the line that runs down a road that is called Bobo Crossing at 7:30 at the river.
And this would aid in getting the water to Rome and the other
No,
cities, or
If
no?
it comes down Bobo Crossing, it will only come into our system, and then Boyd would still, it would come from us, and they would get their part. But the others, water lines have to be ran on down to them.
Okay, so the municipalities that Walnut Creek currently has contracts with,
Yes.
so those Boyd, Rome,
we're still-
Paradise,
we'll still be water.
Otherwise, they would have
Still
to
go
build-
through a meter and
Yeah.
it'll still all be,
otherwise they have to build new water lines.
yes.
If Walnut Creek was not
Some may
involved.
have to be upgraded, of course, but in the whole scheme of things,
And
it's
how
gonna
much
come
would
in.
that cost?
I can't give you an exact number on that upgrade.
I think that's a cost factor, it's a very important consideration.
I don't think it'll be any different from new development coming up on any side of Parker County. New money.
You also can price something that you haven't seen. You can price something that you haven't seen, so you know, like when they get in there. it's what
Sky,
happens.
high in the sky.
The gentleman from where are you from again?
From the Upper Trinity Groundwater District next
Upper
door.
Trinity Groundwater.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any comments that would be beneficial to the board?
Make you laugh, you don't dance.
Look, I'm gonna give you a little background. I spent the first decade of my career at the Water Development Board. I've worked with water providers all over the state, and I've been here for the last almost 11 years. I'm a voting member on Region C, that Regional Water Planning Group. I'm on Region B, I'm on Region G. I've been all around for regional water plants. What I know is that when you're trying to move water to large places, it takes regional entities, it takes regional effort, right? We've exhausted the resources that are within our area, right? There's no more water in Parker or Wise counties that is easy and cheap, right? Most of the water to feed the growth that's coming is going to have to come from somewhere else, right? The most immediately adjacent entity would be Tarrant Regional. They're not the only entity, but it makes sense to try to partner with them. From knowing folks there, talking to them, you know, the likelihood of Tarrant Regional, they would much rather work with one large entity, right, than a bunch of little ones. And then also, it's economies of scale, right? It's a lot cheaper when you're moving water from one direction this way, to have one massive line than to have a bunch of little lines. And so when you're trying to provide a resource, my thinking isn't short term, not 5 years, 10 years, it's way on out, right? Because we all hope that future generations, our kids' kids are gonna be in this area. And what I know is the way development is going right now in Parker and Wise County, just drilling wells everywhere, it's not sustainable, right? We've got all the data to show that. So this water's gonna have to come from somewhere. And, you know, I tell the people in Parker County this, I've worked with these guys in Wise County and told them the same thing. It's the most likely way that we solve this problem to create a sustainable future is with a large regional entity working to bring water into the area. And then helping disperse and treat that water, maybe treat it, maybe selling raw water, but then disperse it out to the actual retail providers like Walnut Creek, like the cities, right? And so any water resource engineer, any long-term planning engineer that you talk to that looks at this situation, almost every single one of them, I don't know of a single one that would not say you need a regional solution, right? And what that really regional solution looks like is different from place to place. They've tried to create the vehicle, or they have created the vehicle. I have personally always said that Walnut Creek that the SUD is a very key piece, right? Just because of your service area, your existing infrastructure, it's a key piece to connecting all of this. So, you know, that's where I come from. We don't provide water. We just deal with the water that's under the ground, and what we see is not sustainable. There's gonna have to be water come from somewhere else. And the most likely way, the most economical way to make that happen is through a large regional entity. That's all I got.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Kind of related to all this going on. What that big development going on with Reno?
Mhm.
Where are they gonna get their water?
Which one?
The big development, it's got the mud district there, where are they gonna get their
The
water?
Rolling B?
No, yeah, Rolling B.
Rolling B?
In Rome, you mean?
No, Reno.
Oh, Reno's not Rolling B.
Yeah, I don't know what.
It's Reno, it's a big development that's gonna.
How big?
I think it's 2,800 homes.
So I'm assuming that they're going to, is it in the city of Reno? I haven't heard, nobody's come to us and talked about that. So,
Okay, so, you know.
I know which one you're
Is
talking
it?
about,
Right.
yes. They came to us, we do not have the water supply on that
Right.
side of our,
Right.
so they,
And they were,
Went
I
to-
was talking to them, they were assuming that they were gonna get it from groundwater, not that, okay, there's a bunch of.
they
wishes and-
went to,
Right.
they went through the steps of being removed from our CCN.
Right.
And so
So-
now they're kind of in limbo.
right, and so this happens, right? And so it's just like the Rolling B, you know, they told everybody in the world they're gonna get surface water, and now they've drilled some wells, and they just provided a report to us that we made them produce that says, well, what they wanna do with groundwater is not gonna work. They're gonna be out of water like that. And it's the same thing. I have nobody's come to us. If they're gonna think they're gonna get groundwater, I mean, they can get permits. Now, whether or not it's gonna provide for their entire system, that's to be seen, right?
Right.
But, if it's that many homes, it's gonna be dense development. Put in a centralized system, probably try to drill a couple wells, might get them through 5-10 years before they start having issues, and then have to start calling you guys, calling somebody else. Hey, we need emergency connection. You know, it's just like, you know, I use an example, cities of Hudson, Willow Park, and Aledo. I'm sure everybody's familiar with all those cities, right? Aledo started growing in back about 15, 20 years ago, they started working with the city of Fort Worth to bring a water line and purchase surface water from Fort Worth. Alito, Hudson Oaks, and Miller Park had historically all been centralized groundwater systems, right? Their wells couldn't keep up with demand, so they spent a lot of money. At the time, they asked Willow Park and Hudson Oaks to join. They decided not to. They didn't want to spend the money. 10 years later, what happened? Willow Park and Hudson Oaks had to pay 2 and 3 times as much money to get that water, because it took another 10 years as their systems grew for their wells quit keeping up. Now you've only got a netta down there that's just based on groundwater. Same thing happened with Acton Municipal Utility District, AMUD. That system was built back in the 70s, all groundwater based. They have since purchased City of Granbury's old surface water treatment plant, have rehabbed that, and they're transitioning to surface water. That's just what happens in this area, right? Is we're on the edge of the aquifer. It will not, the groundwater will not supply for dense development, right? That we're wanting, that people are wanting to see. So they may try. Nobody's come to us and asked for a permit yet, but they're probably gonna try that, and eventually they're gonna find somebody else.
That was just a curiosity question.
Yeah, nobody's come to us yet, so I can't answer specifically, because nobody's come and submitted an application.
I have a question. You mentioned that TRWD really only wants to do business with a regional agency. What happens to the contracts that they have with, like, Walnut Creek?
I'm not with Territory Reason, I can't speak to that.
So who do you get a bill from? Are you simply providing the pipelines? What is Upper Trinity, what purpose does it serve? To provide water, correct?
No, we don't provide water.
Okay,
We're a groundwater conservation district.
so there are SUDs and UDs out there that have contracts with TRWD to draw surface water, correct? Okay, because when you said that, it really bounces off of, Walnut Creek has the largest contract for Bridgeport. There will be no other contracts issued.
I can't speak to that, I don't know their system. I'm not gonna
That's
speak
simply
to
what TRWD told me 2 years ago.
I think that contract would remain in force.
Right, the contract's a contract, it's not just gonna go away.
Yeah.
Well, unless they decide that they want to do business with the PUA and not Walnut Creek, since Walnut Creek is now part of the PUA.
Applications are.
I'm not an attorney, but that's typically not how contracts work.
It's not funny, it's serious.
Same thing's funny.
That was the,
Mr. President, can I add one more thing?
yes,
There was a lot of talk about the rolling V in the 10,000 home development. They actually have, isn't it 4 Wise County Water Improvement Districts now in that development? But we're only allowing them to have 1 seat out of 14 on the board. So they have 1 vote out of 14. And there's another MUD in New Fairview that's coming in, and it's the same way with them. They're gonna have 1 vote out of 14. So to give the impression that developers are gonna control the PUA is asinine to me.
Why was it put in the rules to have somebody that could be outside the district just for that one district? Beyond the board?
No, that's for all entities, and the reason that was done as far as the board member being proposed, because a lot of the cities and a lot of the entities that are in there have great public works directors, have great engineers on staff that do not live in that district. But we wanted to be able to allow them to appoint those people, because those are the people I was talking about a while ago that have been invested since day one. They know the existing systems, they know what's needed. We don't want to bring 14 people in off the street that don't even know what we're trying to do and put them on this board. So the initial board is going to be proposed of, even though they may not live in that district, they have to be a registered voter in the state of Texas. But same thing with, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor is going to be our representative for the city of Boyd. He is our city manager, and he lives across the street from our city limits. But with the original proposal, he wouldn't have been able to be our board representative.
Do you have a copy, anybody have a copy of the PUA agreement?
I have it.
Or the ordinance.
No, the ordinance, because if I remember correctly, it was only exempting one entity on that one, if I read it correctly.
No, it states, public entity may appoint an employee of such public entity to serve as a director without regard to residency. So that addresses the situation.
So it applies to every entity then?
Every member entity.
that should be tightened up a little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
Otherwise, somebody will, I'm not saying that.
Well, it's
And I live
already,
in
it's
water
already been
district.
approved by 13 attorneys
Well,
who signed off on it.
Then 14 attorneys need to look at it. The language in that states that Walnut Creek could appoint someone's grandmother living in Illinois who has water experience.
He just said it has to be a registered
It
voter
doesn't
in
say that.
Texas.
It
Doesn't
states-
say that.
It states that a board member must reside in the territory or CCN of its appointing public entity and be a registered voter. Somebody living in Illinois would not be in the CCN.
That clears that up. Is there any other comments from the open session? 'Cause y'all are fixing to not be able to talk, that's why I'm asking. Is everybody done?
I will say thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
The,
Information.
item A, then the consideration of action to move forward with joining WFPUA. I make a motion that we,
I'm just gonna say, we can't actually join right now, we just have to move forward.
that's all I was gonna say.
No, I apologize.
I make a motion that we move forward with joining the WFPUA. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. Is there any further discussion?
The questions I have, James, when I spoke with Perry over here, and the last meeting, he said he
Perry,
was,
Perry,
Our assistant general manager, Barry Day.
okay.
he was taking James Blackwood's seat last meeting. He said that you never approached Springtown.
I've spoken to.
That's what he
I've
said.
spoken to him since that meeting,
Okay,
and he said that they have no interest.
why was it all this done and not that even looked at?
Springtown has been talked to several times in the past. There have been meetings in this boardroom with Springtown to try to integrate.
What we could do is send a certified letter to the mayor from our attorney to the city manager and the mayor of Springtown and ask them if they have any desire to work with us, and that will put an end to that issue also.
Right, yeah, I spoke with the mayor was
Okay?
open on it. So if there's a conflict, everyone has a fiduciary duty to make sure it's best for everybody. Even if we went with Springtown or with the PUA, we have a fiduciary duty to make sure it's the best for every one of our customers.
Yes,
We have to make sure that and if they're not selling, if they're eating the cost of 6% of their water, that's not a fiduciary duty just to sit there and burn money in the wind.
But also, their leftover water would not be a drop in the bucket for what we need.
Well, it's small, I guarantee you that, it's small.
We got a motion, we got a second.
Yeah, and we're discussing. So I'm assuming there's more discussion.
Well, there's not a plan B, is there?
I mean, we are talking with the Parker County PUA, but we can be members of both PUAs.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, I've been out here 40-some years, and I really think, where is all the water coming from?
So, no, there's really not a plan B,
There's
because
not a plan
we
B.
could join with Springtown, but that's still only gonna be 2 entities. TRWD wants large entities. They want to work with large entities, several entities, working together to do this, so that there's only so many water plants and so many entities they're working with. So it'd be under one name, not 15 names.
And
that
this
they're
is
working with.
projected to cover our back, I mean,
Yeah,
enough water
for years to come.
years
yes.
to come, not just,
Yeah, it's not
not
gonna
the
be,
next 5 years.
it's gonna be 5 years before we start to see anything out of it, but it's to cover this district in the future. Because otherwise, 10 years from now, we're gonna be sitting here saying, where are we gonna get water? Our district's growing, we got wells going dry, and they're in our CCN, therefore we're required to get them water. But where are we gonna get it?
But where's the Parker County PUA gonna get their water from?
That hasn't been decided yet, but right now, we're talking about the West Fork PUA.
Are we still on the West Fork? No? Okay.
It's ongoing discussion then.
Okay.
I don't see any other option.
I'm just, me.
Yes, sir.
Howard. I've been in the water business since 2001. I spent 16 years with the Tree Brewery, headquartered in Arlington. They use this same model to provide wastewater service to 40 cities in the Metroplex. This sort of an arrangement is going to result in the lowest cost water for the district. The more people that are involved, the greater the economies of scale. And that's really what this is about economies of scale. And I agree, I don't see a plan B. And I've been in the water business in the Metroplex for a long, long time.
Is there any other discussion? So we have a motion and a second before the board to move forward with the, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Let the record show the vote 4-1. Thank you. Item B. Consideration under action to approve the investment policy.
You have nobody speaking on this one? Or should we start discussing on it?
Excuse me?
You have nobody speaking on this one?
On item B,
Yeah.
I'm fixing to find out.
Okay. Everybody's coming out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to leave. so-
Get through.
Can you give us just a 1 minute break before we start? Thank you. It's 5:02 right now. We're gonna take a 3-minute session.
Nobody's water break, that's a good idea.
I would.
Get your transmission.
You want some? I'm ready.
I drink coffee all day.
I'm sorry.
Upgraded.
Okay, I can make sure it wasn't the same.
No.
Oh, it's back here, there's one right here.
There's one right over there by that.
Right there by the door.
Oh, really? The ship hasn't sunk, but I've only been gone for a year and a half. It's a wonderful place to be. Yeah, you go out that little Beverly area with Warren Brewer and Cleveland.
There's one through that back door, Trevor.
Somebody's in.
Somebody's in this one too.
I was so privileged.
Oh, this one's open.
I started.
This one's open. Remember that gentleman's trying to get past you. Immediate left. So there's always. I drink about 3 pots a day.
From you?
I said, thank you. It's hard to find those off there, coats. Brandon, Dickies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like pretty good. I can't believe they moved.
Do what?
They moved out of Fort Worth.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Got bought out and then moved.
We'll, open it back up at 5:05. You ready? You're gonna give us an overview of the investment policy?
Yes, sir, I'm happy to. What you have before you is the updated version of your investment policy. That is a requirement of chapter 2256 of the government code. You are required to have an investment policy. It has specific requirements, things that need to be addressed in there. And you are required to review it and reapprove it on an annual basis. The last time this was done was in, I believe, October of 2024. So, it's a very simple policy. It's
What's
very
changed
basic.
since October of 24?
Not much. There was a couple of minor changes, and I can, on page 2, where it talks about diversification, the local government investment pool, that used to say 90%, moved it to 95%. The reason for that is we've been channeling more of our investable money to Logic from Pinnacle, because of the yield is better, and on our savings, and it's just as liquid. So, we're not at 95%, but it would be easy to go over 90, so,
Liquid doesn't mean that if we need to pull from it, we can pull from it immediately.
yes, absolutely, yeah. Safety, liquidity, and yield is the 3 buzzwords as far as your investment policy. Right now, we are almost 100% liquid between Pinnacle and our ICS accounts there. We can pull from them as much as we need within 24 hours. Same way with Logic. We can do same day with Logic. So, yes. Then that's kind of covered under, on page 3, where it talks about depository. It does reference those ICS accounts. Essentially, that's any excess from our checking account is invested by Pinnacle in certificates of deposit. They stay underneath the FDIC insured limit, so they farm them out. And it's a very structured program. It's been in the state of Texas for years. So there's no collateral required, because there's never more than 250,000 that falls under FDIC insurance in any one institution. And it's all managed through our contract with Pinnacle. So that really helps us, makes it very, very simple. We changed some of the names, updated it for current board, and honestly, that's all that has changed. There are no changes to the 2 things that you are required to, not required, that has to have board approval, is who are your authorized investment officers and your authorized sources of investment training, because all your investment officers are required to have 6 hours of training within the first 12 months, and then 4 hours of training every other year. And all of your investment officers are current on their training. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. Y'all have? No, I read through it. It's,
Who are the officers?
They're named by title. It would be finance manager, office manager, and John Bogan, our assistant office manager. And we are authorized by, as signers on Logic in the investment pool. We are limited to transferring money either between the bank and Logic, And those are preset transactions, so that's the only place you can go is back and forth. Or we pay our contractors, on our bond program, we wire them straight from Logic. And again, those have to be preset. There's multiple approvals and you can only.
So not just one person.
Not just
Stroke
one
it,
person.
check it,
Anyway, no,
send
sir.
it out.
No, we kind of diversified that in the one we had last year.
That's what I was.
And what's the check limit before board approval?
Check limit, before board approval. The only one I'm aware of is when it's, involves something where we're writing a check, they call it to the benefit of a third person, like when we bought
Yes.
land and it required 2 approvals.
Yes.
2 board approvals.
As far as
Anything
for
other than a
paying
vendor,
bills.
Yeah.
Vendors, that's,
Just assets.
yes, just assets, correct.
Okay.
A motion to approve it. I had no problem with it. I was making sure it was just liquid, like it goes on any time.
Yes, absolutely,
We don't need to lose money on just sitting there collecting dust.
yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion further? Ask for a vote, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Item C, consideration or action to approve or disapprove changes to credit card fees. That's why you're still standing there.
Yes. Actually, my boss tells me that I need to stand up, so I'm getting my money's worth here. We discussed this, when we, reviewed the proposed budget at the last board meeting, that it was, past time for us to take a look at these credit card fees. The current system is that we charge a flat $3 fee when somebody pays a bill or comes in and pays for a new account or new water meter, any kind of a transaction, it's a $3 fee. The only time it's different is if what they are purchasing, which is usually new meter set, multiples, when it gets above $2,999.99, it then turns into a 3% fee. And that's because,
A significant difference,
It's a-
$3 to $90.
yes, it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
So is that why we've lost money?
Hmm?
Is that why we lost money on the credit card?
Well, that's one reason, At this point, as the budget was approved without making this change. So I didn't wanna hedge my bet, I guess. But at this point, our average, water bill.
107.11?
Hmm?
107.11?
Yes, or for average water bill, a little over $100. Our credit card processing company charges us, about $7. We collect 3 from the customer. So right now, we're at about 60-40. We recover about 40% of what it actually costs us to operate and accept credit
So we
cards.
need to change this to recover those losses. Changing it to 4.73% instead of a $3
Yes.
flat rate. We'll do that.
Yes,
So when I did the math on 107.11, it said with the credit card processor, utility provider, that comes down to, says right there, 838. When you put the 473% in and the $3 fee, it comes out to only recovering $8.70, we're still short of 31 cents.
I'm sorry. I just said the last part again, make sure I heard you right.
When we times the total bill by 4.73, it comes out to 507.
Yes.
Plus the $3
Mhm.
is $8.07.
Well, there's not a That's not.
Cause you
The
still have,
507 is the total that we pay Global, who is our merchant processor.
correct,
We also pay a flat fee of $1.25 that goes to our, software company.
right, and
Okay.
I agree with that math right there, I'm talking about the recovery
Mhm.
of all that.
Okay.
The recovery with this, the current setup that you're proposing,
Mhm.
we're gonna be for this example, for this bill right here, we're gonna be 31 cents short.
Possibly, yes.
Why? I'm not trying to sit there and say we need to charge the customers more money, but we don't need to be setting up ourselves for another net loss.
Couple of comments there. First of all, you're talking average there. And we are dealing with two fees. One of them that's a percentage base.
Mhm.
And well, it's a combination of percentage and a per item fee mixed together. And then we have the $1.25 that comes from our utility billing provider, which is a flat fee. So
These fees are not gonna go
it's
down.
not perfect, I guess, and it's not going to be, because every month it's different. When I use an average, I averaged everything from $1 to $5,000 transactions. And the way that gets split, it's never gonna be perfect. The lower the water bill,
So,
the lower their fee, they're gonna end up paying less than $3.
Right, and I was looking at multiple examples, I couldn't find an example that was a net positive, or even break even.
The break even, actually,
If you tell me that number,
break even, I used today with some updated numbers at a $133 fee. I mean, $133 water bill or credit card charge under 4.73% would result in a credit card fee of $6.29. And with the rates we have currently with both providers, that transaction will cost us $6.29.
okay, so they have to exceed $133 before it comes a net positive for us on the
Correct.
credit card fees.
Correct. We will be, the customer will get the advantage, $133 or less. Over $133, the customer will pay more. Actually, if you go back to the $3 that the customer pays now, your break point is, about $62, yeah. So,
And most of our bills are over the 133, pretty much.
yeah, well, again,
Well, they said
our
they-
average is a
one
little
of
over
Oh,
100.
that's right.
So, one of the reports that Amanda generated for me, I asked for transactions under $65. And that was for early October, early November to early December. And we had a little over 2,000 transactions that were under $65. And again, that would be seasonal, but yes. So it's been many years since we've actually recovered our, the $3 has covered all of our fees.
And I'm for recovering the fees, I think if we're gonna do good percentage, it needs to be based off of average bill, being that zero at the average bill.
I agree with you. I honestly don't know how to get there because we can't, according to our software provider, we have to choose between a percentage fee or a fixed fee. and we don't have a lot of latitude there.
Okay, so we're not, so this bill here, if I just did the 4.73%, you
Mhm.
couldn't have the $3 on top of that too.
No.
So, okay, so it's even worse, it's not 31 cents, it's actually even worse on that. It's,
Why can't you make the percentage what it needs to be to cover?
exactly.
You
Well,
said
and
here that,
that's-
that this is, I was under the understanding when I
That's what
asked you my question.
that's what I have
is that
attempted
this
to do,
covers the
put it
cost
that
of-
way.
And
And,
it doesn't,
but it doesn't,
so why don't we make it covered? Does
That's,
it need to be 5%?
uh,
There's a mathematical
5%.
equation to figure it out.
I mean, I'm not trying to be,
No, I know what you
no,
mean.
I understand,
You
that's
don't
what's
need to
been so
be
frustrating about this.
Throwing money out. I thought that the 4.73 made us whole. That's all we're trying to do, make us whole.
right,
We're not
It
trying to make any
will,
money.
so we're at
it
$3.31
it
short.
depends on the,
So that's another 3% on the $107 average bill.
That's a lot.
it depends on the structure of your transactions. If you have more large transactions than small ones,
Yep.
because we don't pay just on a percentage basis. We pay a per item fee, we pay a discount
Let
rate.
me ask you to go back and look at all your numbers and give us, based on the current customer
Average.
bill, the average, what does the percentage need to be to cover last year's? Or this whole year?
I'd be happy to go back and look at it
And we'll
again.
just compare that to the 4.73, I think you're gonna find that it needs to be 6 or 7. So, whatever it
That's
is, we
possible.
wanna be whole.
Okay,
So,
all right.
let's look at it from that
I will do
perspective, and we'll talk about it again.
Okay.
Thank you.
So are we gonna table that item?
Motion to table it
Next
until next meeting, get the correct percentage. Thank you.
Hold on. Tabling it?
Table it to next meeting so she gets
Yeah,
the correct
yeah,
number.
that's what we're doing.
I'll say aye.
You have to vote on motion to table it?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Item D, consideration or action to approve sign up instructions to speak.
I left an extra package on your, that you see. I'll direct your attention to the framed piece of paperwork up there. And it talks about speaking during open forum, the rules, things along that line, and that actually came from the Secretary of State. It's been up here as long as I've been here. So, I know it was mentioned that we needed to add some other things to that, but the Secretary of State doesn't necessarily agree with that. So I will look into that a little bit further, and we'll go from there. I gave you a copy of the sign-in sheets for this month and the prior 2 months. It states on there, if you want to speak on an agenda item, you need to put the agenda item on there. Yeah, it's attached to that one you got there, though.
So like this one is blank.
Well, I'm just looking at,
What she's
looking at
talking
the
about
next one.
right here, it says citizen forum subject or agenda item.
Oh, that's-
And they didn't put anything down.
They
Right,
did this time.
they did this time.
They
But
dotted their i's.
last month, we had an issue because someone that signed up to speak spoke during open forum and just said they were gonna speak during the agenda item. When I got the sheet, there was nothing listed on there. So based on that and a voicemail from the Secretary of State, we set our rules. Anybody can speak, but they have to follow our procedure to sign up to speak. So she was not allowed to speak on the agenda items because she didn't list what agenda items she wanted to speak on. And I got information from the Secretary of State on that since the last meeting, so.
Yeah, that's good. It's in black and white. Section 55,
Exactly.
1.007 expressly authorizes the government body to adopt reasonable rules regarding the public's right to address the body,
Right.
including rules that limit the total amount of time that the member can address them.
Yeah.
The only thing is that placard, when I spoke with TRWA. and-
Okay, we aren't governed by TRWA.
I know,
anything.
but they give us, they are a resource for us to give us correct information. They
Right,
just
but I
said,
go to the Secretary of State, which has higher authority.
they did say that they need to be on the agenda. And I remember also previously that these, I remember speaking to you about this, about speaking on the agenda items, on every line item. This was, initially was never here previously. Remember
Yes,
that,
it
right?
was. It's always been on there.
No, I had meetings back, I got a recording that you said that you didn't know that they could actually speak on every line item on the agenda.
I did not know they could speak on line items of the agenda.
Well, that's when I brought that up, and you said that we need to add this column to this sign-in sheet.
But it was already
It is
there,
It's
so
already
we did not know
there.
that.
It's there now.
It was there before.
Yes.
It's there now.
Well, we follow the rules, that's all I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think that we need to vote to follow the rules, I think we need to follow the rules.
Yeah, I don't see anything that needs to be changed to what we're already doing,
Right.
based on what I read in this. Moving to the next item. Consideration or action to update the regular meeting dates for 2026.
Yeah, and I apologize for having the wrong years on the sheet that you got in your packet. But on at your seat today, I had updated the years. All the dates were correct. The issue with this is we have two Monday holidays, MLK Day and President's Day in January and February that fall on Mondays, and we observe those holidays here at the district. So I'm asking you to change those two meeting dates.
No, I didn't.
It's in, it's this one, it's 2025, and she handed out this page.
Oh, I got it
Here's a good one,
I'm looking for the list of holidays.
here's a separate piece of paper she handed out.
Yeah.
And the wrong one in the packet.
What are we gonna, can we talk about it?
Absolutely.
Either we move it back a week or up a week,
I'll move it to Tuesday.
or move it to Tuesday.
Yeah, that's at your leisure.
Yeah.
Tuesday sound, that way it's more evenly.
I like Tuesday
Tuesday,
of that week.
Yeah, I'd say just move it today.
one day, the
Do
17th.
you have a preference?
No.
Do you have a preference?
He'd like to have it on Sunday.
I'm retired, it make a difference to me.
So which ones we removed?
The two to the March. No,
So,
that's, you're
okay.
looking at holiday list. You need to look at the meeting list.
Okay, so it'd just be the 20th and 17th.
So I'll make a motion that we move the meeting dates to the following
20th,
Tuesday
right,
of the
the two holidays.
two meetings that are on the holidays are already set.
I'll say.
All in favor?
All right.
All
That was
opposed?
easy.
Thank you.
Item F, engineers report.
Where you been?
We've been up line of fire, we've ordered.
Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna be quick. Let's see, the first item, or I guess the first update that I wanted to let you guys, everybody know is the surface water treatment plant, project 537059. That project for all, I guess, is finished. The contractor and his subs are supposed to be on site tomorrow to do the last couple of items, and it is done.
Which one is that?
That's the water treatment plant expansion from 2 million gallons to 12. So,
And then we'll still have to do some testing to start using those. We have to do testing for the state.
yes.
But pull some samples and some different things, but the project itself will be finished.
Which one?
The number one, the first one. on my list.
Exhibit A.
Yes, sir. The rest of them are just moving along, I know slowly but surely. The booster pump stations, we're still working to get electric service established. Tri-County is pretty slow. Encore has moved faster, so their work is done at FM 920, but the FM 51 booster pump are still waiting on Tri-County to get their stuff, and the slabs for transformers and all that stuff is there waiting on them. It's just setting up them to show up
Them
and
showing up
install
is what
transformers.
we're down
And you're talking about 537
Okay,
to.
5060, that's the FM 920, that's Encore's electric provider on that one. They've already set the transformer, and that pump, booster pump is very close to being finished.
Can you figure out why, is this gonna be his report or your report? Why are we having a topographical survey for a change order when the project is 90% complete at $10,518?
Having change orders.
Where are you at?
Change order listed on the sheet.
Change order summary.
This project's had change orders a long time ago, but I haven't had any since.
It's underneath the blue folder, 1, 2, 3, 4th page.
Okay, that's the monthly report.
I don't get my list.
I mean, that change order was back when the project very first started.
Okay,
That's
so
not a
long
current
time
change
ago.
order.
That's
That's
not
none
current.
of these are current change orders.
No, we don't have a current change order.
We don't have
Okay,
any current
the
change
way
orders.
it looked here was that these were all current change orders, and I was like, why are we
No,
having
no current change orders.
a survey at 90% of project completion?
No, that was from way back. That's, none of those are current change
Okay.
orders.
Why don't you add to this the date the change order was approved, and then we won't have.
I don't, that's,
That's better release.
okay.
Yeah, Beverly
Yes,
puts
I will
that.
get
We can have
Beverly
that
the
added
dates
on there.
and Beverly will add it.
But these were, so all these change orders on this November report, it says monthly, but that's.
Yeah, those are past change orders. Those are not current change orders.
That got me kind of worried there for a minute.
No, I understand.
There's been no change orders on projects since that.
No, but I was just reading that, and I was just, oh, what the heck is,
Yeah, we've done.
yeah, I hope not.
Let's see, I'm gonna go down the list. Like I said, booster pumps were really the main thing with booster pump stations and the ground storage tanks associated with the electric service. As soon as that stuff and it's set, those projects will wrap up very, very quickly.
Let me ask you a question. I think I've asked you this before, but I couldn't remember the answer. Project number 537066. Million.
Yes.
The estimated project plan was 4.5 million, and the bid came in 7.3. Variance was 2.8 million. And I'm just curious, did you have a theory on why the bid was so much more than the estimated value?
Okay, the estimated values were done during, let me say, bond planning. So whenever we evaluated what projects, and I wasn't involved in bond planning, but I can give you my thoughts. Because the gentleman that was involved in that, and the board, and the general manager at that time, now they're all not with us anymore. So those estimates were during original initial bond planning. So basically, engineer worked with the board, general manager at the time, to identify what projects really needed to be done and would most benefit, the district and their needs at the time. So those are evaluated, and then you put just rough cost estimates with them in order to submit to TCQ to get, figure out how much bond money you need to ask for, I guess. So at the time, that project, that was what was estimated by the engineer at that time. And then when we got to final contract documents and put this thing out for public bid,
So you don't know of anything specifically that changed that would warrant, right, like you didn't change from a 6-inch pipe to a 12-inch pipe or this to that, or it was.
the only thing I can think of is just inflation and
There were several years between none of
increased
those engineers.
construction costs.
Was it a COVID thing?
I guess that's probably some of it. I just know that, you know, my experience over the last, I'm gonna say 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I'm just
So
asking.
when we put it out for bids, you know, that was the lowest bid.
I think the worst one on that, I think the worst one
Yeah.
on that list would not be 6.6, it'd be actually 6.4.
Yeah, that was the next one, but that's the same answer.
All right, 6.4, which, no.
It's exactly the same thing. Project estimate was 1.5.
But it's
Bid came in at 4.3, variance was 2.8.
That was the elevated storage tank on Mr. Woody's property. Okay, let me tell you what happened in that one.
Yeah.
So, when we planned for that project, that tank was supposed to be a typical steel multi-leg tank. Which
Oh,
is,
he wants it as a one
and
stand.
Yeah,
when
to get the
Mr.
property,
Woody, to
that had
get
to
the
be-
property and the place, Mr. Woody put in that, he wanted a concrete pedestal type tank, which is pretty much 4 times as much as your typical multi-leg steel tank. That's why that one blew the budget so high.
Perhaps we should ask the owner next time what he
Well,
wants.
no, so we did,
Thanks, you
and
did, huh?
we did, and I took it to the board, and they told me to move forward.
Okay.
So, I didn't do that just. hey, we're gonna- No,
Yeah, we looked for another site for that too, and there was no. So that, yeah, that was the reason on that one. Okay. And then I guess the other water lines are being put in just slowly but surely. 537-119, the 12-inch water line in Knoxville. I was told by the contractor he's making that final connection this week. Tomorrow, actually, yes. So that project will be finished. Once he makes that connection, all he has to do is chlorinate, disinfect, test, and that project is finished as well. And then that FM51 064 tank, so that concrete tank's there slowly going up. They've poured a few lifts now, and I think they've been basically pouring a lift every 2 days.
Okay.
Depending on temperature, right?
Depending on temperature, yeah, I don't think they're 20 feet a day. I hope they didn't.
What do you think they're gonna bore underneath the highway?
That is being worked on. We had to talk to Mr. Woody about temporarily taking down some fence.
he gave us
And he
permission.
gave us permission to take down some fence, so that the contractor could get a pouring machine up.
Did you get it in writing?
I'm sorry.
You did it in writing?
It was between the contractor and Mr. Woody, we weren't involved in that, that was between the contractor and him.
So that board is supposed to be taking place pretty soon.
Okay, thank you, Trevor.
Yes, sir.
You did a good job.
Okay, no legal professional reports, I'm assuming, general manager's report.
Trevor went over the bond projects. I know this looks like a very low number on new meter sets, usually we set about 40 a month. But been slower coming in, and we've also been working on getting ready for our audit, getting everything in place, getting everything, so that when they come walking in, they don't have to search for things. We've been ready for the audit, and we've been repairing some other items that needed to be repaired, such as flush valves. We had some fire hydrants and those sort of things. So with the slowdown on the meters this month, we used that time to do other repairs that needed done. 4 water leaks that required a boil water notice, as I say, 8 flush valves. We had 7 other water leaks that didn't require a boil water notice, where we were repairing them without shutting the water down. So this year, we've changed out 836 meters. We've set 443 new meters. We've set 2,515 MIUs. Those go on meters that are already existing in the ground to get the signal out. We've done 6,699 locates, 7,168 service orders, 53 water leaks requiring a war water notice, 47 water leaks not requiring a war water notice, and 122 miscellaneous service line or meter box leaks. So our phones ring all day for the little things.
Does that cover the meter status?
Meter status, Perry. Sorry, sir.
My name is Barry, I'm the assistant GM. For the meter project, there are roughly 200 meters left in zone 4 to be changed out. And that zone will be completely AMI. Zone 2 has 1,700 MIU left to be changed out and roughly 230 meters to be replaced. And once these two zones are finished, our whole system is AMI. Any questions?
Pleased with it?
Yes, with the progress?
Or pleased with the system?
Yes.
What about the electronic, valves that, did we ever put any in for the flush valves and stuff, automatic?
No, we do.
We haven't
Well,
done that?
I think that
Automatic ones?
We did
Yes.
have one?
No, we've got several. I don't know
We
how many
have
automatics altogether.
370 automatic flush valves.
Dang.
Out of the 500 flush valves that we have.
Yeah, there's 500 additional.
Huh?
It's 500 additional. We have what?
Yeah, 500, okay, I'm sorry, 500 additional plus 300 that are autos. 300 and how many?
10.
10.
So do you actually go out and monitor the flush, or you flush it from the
So they're set up on like an irrigation timer. So like every night around midnight, they'll go off for
Oh,
like
once a
10,
month.
15 minutes.
They come on once a month. not
Yeah.
every night.
It really depends on the area and the usage for that area. And then, yeah, we have a crew that goes out and checks them once a week,
Make sure
changes
they're
the
not just-
batteries and anything like that, any repairs.
Well, yeah, and they pull samples while they're there.
They do pull water sample.
Yeah, we pull samples
Yeah.
from all of our dead end areas, get water samples pulled. They have to be by TCEQ standards.
Anything else?
Thank you, Barry. Okay, the board will now recess for closed session 5:44. According to Texas Government Code 551.074, 1-273, 551.071.
Do you want me to stay initially, or you want me to come back?
I need you to stay and the attorneys.
I gotta put this out
Yes,
here,
sir.
sorry.
Is it turned off? Last time it picked up, verbal.
I can't cut it off for a while.
I'm next to your neighbor with
Good night.
Good night.
I don't think I'm any faster than you are.
Yeah, you have one right here, so.
But hang on, we gotta get it on here.
Oh, gotta turn that on. Howard, thank you.
Absolutely, James. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, it was nice to see you guys.
Finally,
Sorry.
finally meet you face to face instead of email.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you, Elsa. Nice to meet you, man.
nice to meet you.
Marty.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you for your time, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Very
Y'all just
informative,
let
thank
us
you very much.
know.
Appreciate it.
You
too.
Where are you driving to today?
Georgetown?
Watch that traffic.
Denise
Are you
Taylor,
going down through Cleveland from here? Or are you going Fort Worth? Oh, God. Traffic.
We'll pray for you.
Yeah.
okay, hang on, let me start.
Take care, guys. Hope to see you soon. Call us anytime you hear anything.
Thank you.
You got it.
Now, this will cover my duties as secretary. My secretary.
No, I,
Need coffee?
the phone number wouldn't work, somebody actually answered it, but I got it on the recorder, so I think we're good. Okay.
Oh, Lord, Dave.
Are we back up?
Yes, sir.
We are?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're back in open session at 6:33. No further comments, I'll move that we adjourn the meeting. All good?
Second. Yeah.
Who's second that? Did you, Tom, or? Did Bill?
Mark.
Mark did.
Oh, Mark.
I was too slow. Okay, try to keep him separate.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Hey, I need your signature on a few things and Bo's signature on a few things.
All right. You got it right there?
You?